of Power. I haven't watched the entire, season series or whatnot, but I do know what the program is. I do know who the character is, and from what I've been able to determine, he certainly occupies a high station in the criminal underworld. In the series, he portrays a drug kingpin, I understand, who also attempts to go legitimate. That's my understanding of it. So from what I've seen, he clearly holds that position. Now, with regard to human mating and who gets to determine high value men, well, assuming we're talking about heterosexual men and women, the opposite sex determines where in this case men fall in the hierarchy, be high or low or in the middle. So I would say, so far as mating is concerned, women would get to determine who would be a high value man in a mating sense. But as far as high value men in certain terms of commerce, business, power, if you will, that's something that's determined by other men. And I believe the Power series, again, I haven't seen all of it, only seen a few, about maybe 3 episodes, but from what I can determine, that seems to follow along that axis, that his dealings are primarily with other men insofar as, business dealings, both legitimate and criminal, are concerned.
6.
Let's go ahead and in a mating setting to define what a high value man is. A high value man is a man that is proficient at everything that is intrinsically important to a woman. He possesses the remarkable ability to extract the necessary intangibles out of everyone under his tutelage to achieve said goals. He is righteous. He is dependable. He is impregnable. That is a high value man. Before I go any further, is there any rebuttal? Because I wanted to just set the definition so the conversation is grounded. And
yes, I don't agree. 6.
I don't agree with that. Yeah, I disagree too with a righteous thing. Not all high value men are righteous.
Woman, Ghost is
what part?
Yeah, I'll explain to you. Ghost is an example of that. Women don't care about righteous. Women don't care about good or bad. Women care about winners and losers. And Ghost was clearly a winner, even though he was not righteous at all. He literally did a bunch, right? So I don't understand. Right? I'm saying, Six, I got you. I'll pass you the micro. I'll pass you the spatula right back. Okay. I'm just saying, when you mention righteous, a lot of times this is kind of a decision made between men. The righteous part, I think, is what we're talking about, is men looking at that man and saying that man is not a value because he's a piece of shit. When it comes to dating, women don't give a fuck about righteous. They give a fuck about winners. If you're a winner, she's going. If you're a loser and righteous, she's not going. So go ahead.
You don't care how you won, how you got the money.
Okay. So I think you have selective hearing. You said women care about winners and losers. Mm-hmm. Yes. Now let me ask you a question and make sure we're on the same page. Is women caring about winners or losers, is that a visceral thing? Like, is that something that's just automatically important to them?
Yes. Women have
okay, you can stop right there. My opening statement.
No, you don't tell me to stop. I will stop when I want to stop.
My opening statement.
I'll pass you the microphone when you get the microphone. You can. I know you want to walk down with me.
My opening statement was a high value man is a man proficient at everything that's intrinsically important to women. Yes. So when you say they only care about winning or losing, and you disagree for that, that was already covered in the first sentence.
No, we disagreed with the part where you said the high value man is the righteous man. And we said he doesn't have to be righteous. He can be a winner and is not righteous. He can be a winner. Drug dealers, they're winners at their game, but they're not righteous.
They got to be proficient at everything that's intrinsically important. Now, we both just agreed, because I wanted to make sure you was on the same page, that winning and losing for a woman is intrinsic, it's visceral. So that was covered. Secondly, women do care about righteousness in a form of a relationship, because it has everything to do. If he's in his rightful place, then he's a little bit smarter than her. He has more money than her. he has a little bit more power than her. She wants him to be righteous in his leadership ability. So I fundamentally disagree with you when you say women don't care about righteousness, because as a man, heavy is the head that wears the crown. We have to be righteous in the way we move.
Okay, so can I, definition of righteous, adjective, morally right or justifiable, acting in a way that is ethically good or virtuous. You have, like, you know more big words than me, but I know what righteous is, right? And righteous is somebody that is inherently good. I will prove that you are wrong. First, no, 1 second. First of all, women are attracted to men that actually exude the dark triad traits to the maximum. Those traits are evil. Fact. Like you being a psychopath, like some psychopathic traits, you being Machiavellian, you being in some certain type of way narcissist. Like this is traits that are going to be bad for the general population, and they are going to actually benefit you and the people that are around you. Because
that's true. That's why women who always say, "Oh, I want a God-fearing man. I want a man who goes to church," and so on. So they claim they want a man of God, but they never get to date the man in church. So you're telling me you're a woman of God. You want a man who goes to church. You go to church every Sunday, but they're still single men in church. Why do you leave the church to come out here to live to look for a man of God? Which shows you they don't care if a man is righteous. As long as you pretend you love God, you got the money, you got the gangster look, the gangster characteristics, they will take you. So when you hear a woman claim, "Oh, I want a man of God," they don't really mean it. Otherwise, all the men who go to church would be married. They wouldn't be single.
You have to have those traits to survive. Further than that, and this is why women are not righteous. When the tribe that invades your tribe wins, women are not going to go with you. Since the beginning of time, women choose the winners. When the Germans invaded France and 1 million soldiers came in to Paris, you know what the Parisian women did? They didn't die with their husbands. They decided to fuck the winners, the Germans. And they've been doing this since the beginning of time. Women are survivalists. This is not a good trait or a bad trait. They will choose their life over that. So righteousness, there's nothing to do with it. Women care about winners. If the Germans win, they're going with the Germans.
Can I ask you a question?
Lose, they're staying with the French. You can.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yes.
So, is there ever a right time to be aggressive or evil? You said men got to be evil. Is there ever a right time and a right scenario to do that?
Not evil, but violent. Like,
is there ever a right time or a right scenario for a man to be violent or malignant?
Yes, because violence is not good or bad.
Then your whole argument, you just shot yourself in the foot. Wait, listen, let me talk now. You just shot yourself in the foot. You just talked. No. You shot yourself in the foot. You said. You said that you cannot, you're hung up on the word righteousness, but you just read in the definition that righteousness is something that's also justifiable. You just said that there is a time to be evil and there is a time to be malignant. That is synonymous with justifiable. So it's justifiable. You just shot yourself in the foot. Your argument.
No, he didn't shoot himself in the foot. Justifiable and righteous are completely different, right? If someone slaps me, I'm justified to slap them back. It doesn't make it right. You use the word righteous, that women want a righteous man. And we said, Fadi said, which I agree, that women don't care how righteous you are. They care about, are you winning? That's why women will be with the drug dealers who sell drugs that kill people, but because they have the persona and they have the money and they have the, the fear factor, rather than with a man who's a plumber who works a 9 to 5. Who has never committed a crime. Men in prison wouldn't have so many kids if women really wanted righteous men. It would be the men in church with all the kids.
It is now moot.
So and once again, I like the performative part of it, but once again, I'm going to prove you wrong. Violence. There's never a time to be evil. There's a time to be violent. You just
said it was.
1 second, let me finish. You can be violent is not good or bad. Violent is a tool. You can be violent and be Iron Man and be a saver of the planet and use violence to actually save people, or you can be violent like Thanos and fuck up the whole universe because you feel like it. Violence in itself is not good or bad. Violence is a tool that you can choose to become a villain or a superhero. Women don't care if you use that shit for being a hero or a villain. As long as you're the winner, they will sit on your lap. If Thanos won, they go with Thanos. If Iron Man won, they goes with motherfucking Iron Man. That's the point. What is your rebuttal? And then we move for the rest of the panel.
I sat here in silence for 30 seconds and never once did common sense make a debut in your rebuttal. You got hung up on the word righteousness. So you read the definition by your own definition. Wait, because you acting like these women now. You keep changing the goalposts. You acting like these women and you keep changing the goalposts. You got hung up on the word righteousness. We went down the minutia of righteousness, and at the crux of it is anything that a person deems justifiable. You tried to discredit the word righteousness and say women don't care about that. They only care who win and shit gets evil. I said, well, okay, was there ever a time that you should be evil? You said yes. I said, then that's justifiable.
Yeah, but it's not righteous. Oh my God. How can he not know that there's a difference between right and justifiable? Women don't care how much of a good heart you have. They don't care how much you've never committed a crime, right? They don't care about how much you're fair. They care about, are you winning? They don't care about how righteous you are. Otherwise, all the men in church would be married.
I didn't say evil. I said violent.
I would not do that if I was you. You were recorded saying it. Now somebody gonna clip this and run it back what you saying. Just that.
Time for you, sir. I said yes to move the conversation. When I had time to talk, I said there's no time. There's not for you to be evil. It's time for you to be violent. Violence is not good or bad. It's just a tool for you to attack people or for you to protect people. Why do you disagree?
I don't disagree with that. You're trying to combine two different arguments to land a plane that should have never been in the air in the first place. With that said, I'll disembark from this part of the conversation, and people can rewatch this and we have come to an impasse, Fatty, because you're trying to conflate three different things. No, and every time you checkmate it, you move the goalposts.
No, you.
So I'm chasing. I don't know what I'm arguing. The argument is becoming moot.
Okay, so let's go to the next point. Let me ask you this question, and then you got it right. Will a woman follow an evil man, outright evil man, if he's a winner? Are most women going to follow him?
There are women that will follow an evil man if he's outright. Yes.
I asked most women, not some. Most women. Are most women going to follow Genghis Khan, the conqueror, the killer of millions of people, Stalin, Hitler, whatever? Are women going to follow a man as long as he's a winner, even if he's an evil motherfucker? Are most women going to follow him?
Yes, they will.
I don't know if most women will, but I know a lot of women will.
Oh,
do we have to use that adjective? Is it the reason why you want me to use that adjective, or can we agree? I'm conceding. I'm conceding.
I mean, you can't even concede that. Like, if you give women an option to either be with a normal guy, a normal dude just doing his normal shit, or a winner who is a leader of all other men, where do you think most women are going to go? To the guy on top. Now, doesn't mean most women can get to him, but they want to, or at least even the women who settle with the average guy, they are hoping their guy can get to the top. Or at least, if he's not the leader of other men, he's sitting on the table with the leaders. That's what most women hope. I mean, that's not rocket science. That's nature.
I'm conceding.
So Six, I usually, we learned something about not over pursuing, you see what I'm saying? And I'm not going to over pursue, right? I'm not going to be the person that is going to over pursue just for the fact to get the W. But what I'm saying is that the word righteous has meaning, and if you think that these women care about the motherfucking righteous person, they will leave a motherfucking righteous, bald, short, no money, no car, no house, to go with the motherfucking douchebag that has all of those things. That's the reality. Go ahead, Alexa. I know you want to talk.
Yeah, can I ask, why does the word righteousness have to be compared with the loser? Why does someone who's righteous have to be compared with someone that's a loser? Why can't somebody be a winner and also be righteous?
Because
like, what's the boundary there?
Because he doesn't matter. Because he's irrelevant for a woman. When you talk about righteous, like, you know, when a woman say, I want a God-fearing man. Most women will change religion if a Muslim billionaire came to their door and says, hey, I want to take care of you. But you have to become a Muslim. They will change their basketball team. They will change the city where they live. They will change their religion. They will change the way they dress. Righteousness has nothing to do with getting a woman. Power, money.
Hold on, real quick, Six. That's why the conversation got to be genuine, right? Women redefine what righteousness is. If most women were righteous, they would follow the order. They would be with the man, then they'd have sex, and then they'd have kids. Most women do what's right for them. So whether it's a dude that's moving savage, whether it's a dude who's moving rightfully at that moment, she's gonna do what's right for her. So
I'll get a step further. They do what's right for them right now. Because what she does today as right, tomorrow it may be different. So today she may accept you, but tomorrow she doesn't want you anymore because she wants a different man. So they do what's right for them right now. It matters right now.
We define what righteousness means to him. So all he's saying is that most women don't want a righteous man. If you put 10 ushers or Chris Browns in a room full of 10 actual pastors or 20 pastors with Usher and Chris Brown, they're going to go with Chris Brown and Usher over a pastor, even if they look identical. So most women want the men that nobody can control, that they can control. So he's absolutely right, my brother. Most women don't want a righteous man because most of the brothers who do move volatile or aggressive or domineering to the point they don't care what anybody thinks, those guys are the one who's getting the women versus the men who will move in principle. Let me almost done. Versus the men who will be celibate, versus the man who will be a virgin, versus the man who will be a pastor, versus the man who actually moves in righteousness. Women will look right past over him. We can see that in middle school. We can see that in high school. We can see that in college. We can see that in our daily lives. The women want the man they can't control, and when they get a guy they can get control, they resent him and they're not attracted to him. They want the men that are out of control that they can control.
I agree. He could. That is the truth. And if some of you guys know, I mean, nobody's perfect, but most average men, I would consider them good guys. Like, they do average shit. They don't commit crime. They have a job. You know, they're the ones who buy flowers. They do all the things women claim they want men to do. And what happens? They reject those guys. And then she ends up having a baby with the guy. And you're like, what did he do that I didn't do? Only to find out he has tattoos all over him. You know, he has committed a few felonies here and there. You know, at least he has some type of characteristic of a bad boy. So at the end of the day, women only care about their feelings. And if this is a guy who turns them on, that's who they're going to go for. Now, they may regret in 10 years' time. In 10 years' time, she may come back to you after she has 5 kids by 8 different men. Yeah, I know. My math is right. 5 kids by 8 different men. In 10 years, she may come back to you once she gets into her senses. But it doesn't mean that she won't do what she wants to do right now.
I got to use a different strategy.
Oh, you don't.
Okay. Because you guys aren't getting it. You're taking the word righteous and removing it from the environment that it's supposed to be used in and placing it in a different environment where it can be used in and making that applicable to this argument. I've already said righteousness in the form of a relationship is doing right by your power. The man should and supposed to have a power. We supposed to. If we have that, women want us to be righteous in that power. And we have 2 beautiful women right here. You don't have to use your imagination or your frontal cortex. You can ask them, is it of high value to you for the man that's oversees you, that's you're part of his tutelage? Is it important that he's righteous with that? I'm pretty sure they'll say yes. But again, you keep taking the word righteousness out of the context that is using for, and turning this to something that I'm not even debating, because in that context, you are right. So if you want me to say that, yeah, you're right in that context. But I've already told you, we're supposed to have power in our relationship. So a high value man is one that is righteous. The woman we're with want us to be righteous with our power. They don't want us to be boorish. They don't want us to be malevolent or malignant.
What?
Oh my God. Six. No. Should we listen to what women say they like in men?
No.
That defeats your whole argument. Then, if you ain't gonna listen to what they say, we can't say that we high value. If you don't care, if you don't care to be high value, then you don't care to be. The whole argument gets scratched.
No, no.
Hold on,
real quick question, and you got it. 6. Are women attracted more to the men that do the most for them and do everything they're asking for, or are they attracted to the man that does the least for them? Who gets more access to women? The man that has to do absolutely nothing for them, or the man who's doing everything they can to get them? Who's more attracted to a woman?
That's nuanced. And
no, it's not nuanced, brother. Brother, I'm asking you. Even
I'm gonna answer the question. I'm gonna answer the question. But see, you're intelligent, so I know you know it's nuanced. But I'm gonna answer the question. It's nuanced because women would do whoever they like most, and the man that they tend not to like most, he know they don't like them, so he overplays his hand. He try to buy them. Right. That's why he's doing everything. And
but it's not. But 6.
That's why it ain't because it's not because he's doing everything I don't like him. No, the guy that's overplaying his hand, the guy that's trying to buy her, he's trying to buy her because she don't naturally like him.
Oh my God.
So your argument is moot. No, it just depends on who she like. If she like the guy, he don't got to do shit. He don't even got to have a job.
That's the point.
If she like him,
that's the point, my brother.
That's the point where
most men, everything that most men
will
do.
Say, Ali, please. No woman will say, "I like a bum. I like a man with no money." But if he's tall enough, she going. If he's dicky big enough, he's going. If she is clout enough, she's going. That's the point. When I ask you, do you listen to what women say? You don't listen to what women say. You look at them and see how they move.
Yes, you watch the patterns, right? And we've seen it from time immemorial that women always are attracted to winners. It doesn't matter how he won, as long as he's the winner. Because for them, they only care about themselves. You know what I mean? So for him to not even answer a simple question, we have seen the patterns. And what do the patterns tell us? What does history tell us? Right? The women tend to choose men who don't do what they say. Right? So you buy the flowers, you take her to a nice dinner date, you do everything she says. Most times she's gonna drop you because she's like, okay, I got him. I control him. He does everything I want. What about this guy? How come this guy doesn't do what I tell him to do? And that's the guy they are attracted to do. And most times not that they're attracted to him because they really like him. They're just wondering, how come I met Boogie buy me flowers, but this guy over here, how come he's not bending to my will? That's what it's that adrenaline. It's crazy, but that's how they function.
I tell you to trust women, not by what they say, but how they move, because a woman will tell her what makes her happy. I want a man with a car and a house and respectable and responsible. She will never tell you what makes her wet. And what makes her wet has nothing to do with righteousness. Actually, I will tell you that men that are more on the dark side, the mysterious Batman, will get way more pussy than motherfucking happy-go-lucky Superman. Because women, for whatever reason, gravitate towards the mysterious dude. They don't gravitate towards the I'm righteous and nice and I'm going to protect you type of person. They don't.
You can be mysterious and righteous. You conflate two different attributes that have nothing to do with one another.
Go to the core of it, right? Whoever you get with when you take your chain off, when you take the clothes off, not like literally, whatever. That's why most men know who like them when they're coming up, not when they're already at the top in the finish line, and the women are looking at what you have and what you possess and your reputation. For the most part, the men that get women just showing up, the same way that the women that just show up, we know who genuinely high value men are to women are the one who just once they see him, it's already over. She know right when she see him, I have sex with him. So the things that men do to go expand themselves, like let's say the brothers up here, they already have those things. When you add all the other past intrinsic values, your reputation, how productive you are, if you're righteous, if you're powerful, that just adds to your value. But the men who show up, who already have the core value pre-selection, that's who women really value. And that's why they get mad at the man that he ain't got to do nothing because he's just going to keep getting women. He ain't got to do nothing. And they're like, I can't stand this mother. He an a-hole. He a womanizer. He a narcissist. They ain't even got the man diagnosed. But every time we ask them, man, who you like, they like those guys. They don't ever like the righteous guys and the guys who do right by them. They'll use those guys and use them as a filler until they can get access to that guy again. They always chasing the guy they can't control. And
what you just described was
what happens.
The premeditated infatuation. They don't value that guy. They think they do.
Okay.
Until they get with him. And then when they get with him, they do not value those characters. Look, Tiana Taylor had a ball player. Look how she's talking about him.
Wait,
let me land real quick. Look how she's talking about him because she did not value those characters. She might have met him and was like, he's 6 feet tall.
Six. The nicest woman I've ever met in my life is a big girl who lost a lot of weight, who was extremely attractive. She was extremely humble, but she was big. She got humble. She learned how to cook. She learned how to make connections with men. She learned how to talk, how to be funny. If you see a lot of big female comedians, they are great to talk to. They have a great personality. A lot of those women, if they're not the comedians, just women in general who lose a lot of weight, they built so many different characteristics to connect with men that they're this amazing woman. And a dude again and be like, man, I ain't got no problems with this girl because she knows how to be humble. Most attractive women feel like they don't have to do nothing with the men. What increases her intrinsic value to men is if she's a good woman, even though she's a pretty woman, because there's a lot of attractive women who have to do absolutely nothing. That's why they compromise men. But it's the same thing of a man. Him knows who he is, but even those men, when they don't do what she wants, she will get compromised by him. She will be him until she's not him anymore. And they'll go, hey man, these men assholes. These ain't no good leaders. These men ain't real good men because they're not doing what she wants. That's all we say. And that man totally valuable from the start.
That's true. So as men, the truth is, once it happens to men as well. That's why you find that men who have less money, they tend to be the ones to buy the flowers, to listen to a woman. Maybe it could be a part of scarcity because he doesn't have the money to make up for it. So what average men usually do is buy the flowers, do all the nice things, right? The things we see in the movies, beg her, call her every single day. But you think Chris Brown picks up the phone to call a woman back? Oh, text her and check on her, how her day was? Nah, because he has the money and the status to make up for it. So the same thing is true for women. Women who are really pretty, beautiful, like they don't care to cook for a man because she has the beauty. And over time, men have shown her that she doesn't have to do that shit because she's beautiful. Because most men would rather be with a beautiful woman who does nothing nice for them rather than be with a woman who's like a 5, who's 200 pounds. Now, over time, the same way women regret, having the bad boys and having kids with them, over time, men also, as they get older, they get to realize, you know what, I would rather be with a woman who's not as attractive, but gives me peace and she can cook. So over time, both genders realize, you know what, this is more important. Let me forget the looks. The women are like, let me forget the money. Let me just get the average guy. The man is also like, let me just get the average woman.
Since Fatty, so I listen to the conversation very closely. I would have to say that, if we're being honest, we all kind of agree with one another here. There's not too many things that we truly disagree with. 6, you are speaking facts. I think 6 actually won the first part of that. This is just my opinion real quick. I think that 6 actually won the first part of that debate. But then I think that Fatty came back and he made some valid points, but the goalpost was shifted in different areas. One, the goalpost was shifted in the area where 6 was speaking about, well, hey, he did say that from his first sentence, yeah, if the woman sees this in the man, then, this is what's going to make the man high value. I think the one thing that we're missing, though, is that from a secular view, men set the standard for morality and women follow it. So when we're speaking about a righteous man, men set the standard of righteousness in a secular view. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, it's like, whatever the standard is, it's like at both sides is speaking facts. So what Fatty is saying, like, women, they like, malevolent men. They like the bad boys. That's facts in many cases. And Fatty gave many scenarios where that's right. But then from 6 standpoint, it's like, well, if the woman came up with some morals and some values, then she would maybe prioritize that. But it all depends on what the woman is prioritizing. I would say, generally speaking, women don't really prioritize morals. They prioritize status, money, and their feelings.
So here's a quick example.
That will go to Fatty's point. That will go to Fatty's point.
But here's a quick example.
That's what they prioritize.
Here's a quick example of righteousness in a relationship. And I'm gonna ask these 3 women. Here's righteousness in a relationship. Look, I know you doing your thing. I know you do your thing. I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna look. but don't fuck the lady across the street. That's righteousness. I know you do. I know you do. I ain't even gonna bother you. I ain't gonna look. You do what you do. But don't fuck the lady around the corner in our same gated community.
No.
That's what I mean by righteousness in the relationship.
And even if they
because that would be unrighteous.
And even if they do, they're going nowhere. Because Future, because Stefan Diggs, because motherfucking
that's not true. You better ask, but you better ask Belinda Gates. You better ask Belinda Gates. That's not true.
I'll let you land. So you have to let me land. Woman will say something, and then they will do completely different. Woman will stay with the abusers that beat them up every motherfucking day if they like him enough. That's how crazy women are.
Yes.
I will talk with the woman for 7 times and saying, this man is an abuser. You need to leave. She'll say, yes, Fatty, it's his last time. And 2 weeks afterwards, she will be with the motherfucker at the same time. They don't care about good or evil. They care about winners and losers. If a woman likes you enough, she's going to go. And these women literally, respectfully, they will send thousands of letters to serial killers in jail just because they find them attractive. They will see the prison boo or whatever the name of the dude is because he's a handsome dude. And now they are going to be on his lap because the motherfucker has some type of clout. These women, respectfully, if you are a woman that doesn't follow these things, I'm not talking about you, but most women don't care about right or wrong. They care about winners. That's all. If you're a woman,
So from an inherent view,
hold on, real quick, Fatty, real quick. Hey, I'm asking the sisters since y'all want to ask them a question. Sisters, is it easier to make a woman a wife in 2025, or is it easier to knife?
It's probably easier to knife, but
before you give context, and then Kelly, you can grab it right. Alexa, is it easier to make a woman a wife today in 2025, or is it easier to knife?
I think it's easier to make a woman a wife.
Okay, that's her answer. Jada, is it easier to make a woman a wife in 2025, or is it easier to knife?
To knife.
Okay, Kelly, now you can give your context, and I really want to know why Alexia feels like it's easier to make a woman a wife than it is to knife, because most women will get in bed with you and submit in bedroom before they make you some cornbread or some mac and cheese or some soul food. But go ahead, Kelly, you give it context, Kelly, and then let Alexia respond to you as well too.
I just wanted to add to what Fatty was saying. Like, I think 2 things can be true. I do think, as far as, the righteousness or whatever, but I do think some women, or a majority of women, everybody has a breaking point. So like to what Six was saying, as far as, messing with the woman across the street, I think a lot of women's, I guess, breaking point would be having a baby on them, or, have cheating within the household. That, I do think everybody has some type of breaking point where they can't go no more. So what you were saying about, what's the girl name? Cardi B. We know Offset cheated a whole bunch. She reached her breaking point, and I'm no Cardi B fan. I just wanted to, speak to that. But so what you were saying, Ali, as far as easier to knife or easier to wife, I just think majority of women have very low value or low values, and they will sleep with you. They'll do everything instead of, showing that they are wife material. I mean, that's why we have such low marriage rates. I definitely think it's easier to sleep with a woman for sure. Like, I mean, kids are having sex in friggin' middle school now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, but also you can't show how to be a wife if you are not taught to be a wife. You feel me? Majority of women came from households, and men too, where the parents were not married. So who showed them how to be a wife? Because being a wife is not like a switch that you turn on and off. It's a duty. So you're going to have to learn the skills that, help you with the duties of being that said person. Because women these days, they believe cooking and cleaning and being a man's piece, I think from 1800s. Even if we know that a man providing and protecting, I think from 1800s, but what they choose to do is, for a man, your roles are going to stay the same. For us, our roles are different. You continue, protecting and paying my bills, but I'm not going to cook and clean because it's a new world right now.
Go ahead, Alexia. And just to add before you go, Alexia, women are delaying marriage now till 29. So what do you think they're doing prior to 29. They don't want to get married at 18. They don't want to get married at 23. They don't want to get married at 27. 29 is the average. But I'm gonna let you expound about saying that women would rather you can get a woman to be a wife faster than you can have sex with her.
So
here we go.
I want to know where y'all finding these women that's
oh
so
my
like
God.
ratchet. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me and my circle, but me and my girls, like, we just don't operate like that.
Okay, but we're not talking about you and your girls. Oh my God, I hate when they use these excuses.
They talking about the majority. I used to think that too.
Not your anecdotal.
I never
Okay.
They talking about like the majority.
I'm the
same way.
The majority.
Yeah, so because with the conversation, like the thing that's got me a little on the edge with the conversation is, I think there's women who have morals, and then there's the other side of women who is like, oh no, like we could do a one night stand and I'm good. I've run across both, but I will in for the sake of the majority, because I'm a high value woman, so I cannot speak for what women with no morals do. I don't have those type of friends. I don't hang around those type of women, so I cannot speak to what they do. But I will agree with you guys. I do believe, for the majority, I absolutely do believe that it is easier to sleep with a woman than to marry her first. Like that's like, come on, like that's not even a conversation.
Okay, thank you. That's all we're saying. So when we talk about righteousness, y'all are the gatekeepers. If most women were righteous, men would have to get married. It's just straight like that.
Isn't it funny how all these women who come on these panels, they're high value women, you know, they've never gotten their chicks clapped, they're virgins, all their friends are married, they don't have friends who are single moms, they don't have friends who use men for free dinner dates, you know, they cook and clean. For some reason, all the women who come on these panels are sweet little angels. Isn't that funny? Funny how that works out. You know,
we don't do that. Like if we being honest, the average woman don't have that type of discipline, and actually men don't either. So if a man go to a woman and he like Fatty say he a winner, she gonna go.
We don't need discipline. We don't need discipline. That we find our wives not being undisciplined when you say sexually, it may be wearing protection. Even then, you don't even ask most men don't ask a man to wear protection. So the women that women desire, the women that most of the women are sleeping with, that's the high value guy. We have double standards. You're not supposed to protect and provide, but the man whose intrinsic value is high to women, regardless of what if he's a winner, whatever he is, broke, got money, whatever he does, that's who women are picking, is the man that other women are picking.
Let me just ask you before Jade and the rest of the conversation go up, because Damien be quiet and Cody wanted to say something. Let me ask something to Alexia real quick.
What's going on, Damien?
Alexia, do you have a good opinion about your exes?
I do.
You never dated the douchebag. You never dated the man that cheated on you. You never dated the man that looks the part, a man that every woman wants, man that is like.
I will give you some background about me, Fatty. I'm only 28, and I've only had like 3 real boyfriends. So I've been with my husband for 6 years. So that ain't my style. Like I cannot really speak to that. I cannot really.
Yeah, but right now
I got a bunch of exes.
So Alexia, this is what happens in relationships, right? I will fuck 50 hoes and marry a woman that has nothing to do with them.
You would do what?
I will have sex with 50 3 or 4s and marry a woman that has nothing to do with them. I like both. I like those women for certain things. Those women are the women that actually get me sexually attractive. I'm not going to pick my wife just because she's sexually attractive. She has other things that makes her different from the other woman, right? Okay. What we're saying is that even when women marry a sad man, they were still their exes, the men that they sleep with in high school, in college, the men that they actually was looking for. If you actually look at them, they have a type. Alexia, we're doing a show today about Ghosts from Power. Yeah. That motherfucker had 50 roles before. No woman was looking at him as a sex symbol. As soon as he puts a suit and he stops shooting people and selling drugs, oh my God, this is the biggest sex symbol in the planet. All of a sudden, he had so many roles. And you know what's funny? Even after Power, every time they see Ghost not being Ghost, right? They're like, ugh. What happened to Ghost?
I get women because of Ghosts. I get women because of Ghosts.
You guys have noticed that women really, like some women even who have boyfriends have been to that Chris Brown concert and they'll over him. But imagine a man did that. Imagine Boogie. I'm in a relationship. I'm married. I go to I don't know, to Lotto's concert, which other women out here? I don't know which other good-looking women are out here doing concerts. And I go and I'm all over. You know how women take pictures with Chris Brown and he's holding them the way he does it? Imagine men were doing that with female, artists, musicians. Imagine what women would be saying for men who are in relationships doing that type of shit. It's like when Asha is doing all these things with these women, all the women celebrate, yay, it's okay. If a man says something, oh, he's insecure. Now try to turn the roles. What would they say if men were all over the women like that? It'd be crazy.
So when you ask who are these women, they are most women. Just some women just kind of suppress their urge to be with the 6 foot something bad boy type of dude. But for the most part, they still like him. And that's what I'm saying. Who are these women? They're most women. It's like, who are these men? They like these big booty, big tissues. Most of the men, they just suppress it and find a woman that has more to give to you. But for the most part, they still are attracted to her.
Yeah,
the reason why it's easier to knife women than it is to wife women in this era is because most women, first of all, men marry behavior. It ain't about looks.
I agree.
We'll stay and use your body as an amusement park for as long as we like it. Without ever engaging or even pump faking like we're going to engage. Men, that's how people, I've been together so long and he won't even propose. Yeah, he a little boy. No, you haven't displayed the behaviors. You have to be a wife before you be a wife.
Fact.
And a lot of women in this era don't want to be a wife. They don't even want a man. When they date, most women, they're not even dating the man, they're dating the lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So they don't exude any wifely behaviors to prompt him to even want to make her part of his legacy. But I kind of blame the men because y'all are participating in what I call liability love. This is when she don't bring nothing to the table. Her attitude is costly and she's good for just social scenes, sex, and shopping.
Because men are easy like that.
And no man is going to say, yo, I'll marry that. No. So this is why it's easier for us to knife. We're not marrying that.
Yeah. And what I was saying before when I said that, I mean, I don't know if anyone disagrees with it or has any takes on it, but when I say that men set the standard of morality from a secular view, men set the standard. So that means that that means that when a woman is being raised and she's growing up, she's either going to follow the morality of her father or culture or society. She's not coming up with her own morality. You get what I'm saying? So with this being said, when it comes to what Six is saying, yeah, there are some women that have some morals, but where does those morals come from? Usually her father or the culture or society. But who brings about the culture and society? Normally, that's what men allow through culture and society is what comes about. So with that being said, men set the standard of morality. So if we just take that away, women kind of just follow what their own preferences are. And it all depends on what that woman is prioritizing. Some women would prioritize, where her morals came from, maybe what her father taught her and her parents taught her, or what the culture or society taught her, her church and things like that. So she won't be as susceptible to a bad boy that's coming up trying to raise her up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we don't even have fathers in the house anymore anyway. So that's why I was saying, who's teaching these women to be wives? Nobody, because their mother isn't a wife. And even in some situations where the mother is still married to the dad, the mother disrespects the father. The father hasn't had sex in 5 years. And the kids see it, right? The daughters see that, that this is not a good relationship. They're just there for the sake of it. They see them fighting, arguing all the time. So guess what? Even if she comes from a two-parent household, she sees how they interact with each other. And then she's going to bring the baggage to the next man when she's ready to date. She's going to be like, okay, my mom was disrespecting my dad. Guess what? I'm going to respect my man too as well. So it's crazy, man. So chances are, if you're a guy out here dating, the chances are most women you run into were not taught to be wives. So don't be out here trying to look for a wife, right? I'm sorry, I have to break down your hopes. Chances are the woman you run into is a feminist. And let's, for some reason, say she's a good woman. She came from a good household. She was taught how to be a wife. And you just met her and she's 30 or 30 plus, 31, 32, 30, 34, 35 and onwards. What if she's such a good woman? What has she been doing from age 18 to age 30? I mean, you're claiming she's such a good woman. She has wifely duties. How come other men didn't see that in her? Those are all questions you have to ask yourself. And then you have to go a step further. Ask yourself, okay, she's a good woman. She's age 35, never been married. None of her exes try to wife her. What do the friends look like? Are they feminist friends? Because chances are she may be a good woman, but what do friends look like? Because guess what? If you get in a relationship with her and you guys get any issues, guess who she's going to run to? The feminist friends. So those are all questions most guys don't ask themselves, but they are relevant and they're going to show up when you guys get in a relationship.